Hi, thank you guys for watching. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it may be where you are right now. Today, we're going to talk about when Malaysia came out to me, what that experience was like. I'm going to try to talk about the emotional trauma that it caused for her and I. Some things I might regret that I wish I had known. We're just going to talk about our experience when Malaysia came out to me. I know I might sound repetitious in some of these videos. I mean, because it just all go together, you know. But hopefully, it's some good stuff, and hopefully that you find it enjoyable or you getting something from it. But that's why tell me in the comments, email me info@malaysiabookerfoundation.org, or you can go on the website and contact us. You could call us. We do return calls and messages here at the foundation. Or if it's some topics or something that you want to know, don't hesitate to ask. Once again, I'm MS.SHUNTAE, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. Malaysia, like I said, she was 18 years old when she decided that she wasn't going to be Peirre anymore. She basically just told me, we was on our way coming from somewhere. She just basically told me that I'm going to start living my life as a woman. And like I told you, my response to her was, how the hell you going to do that? And she just told me, you will see. She asked me, could she have her birthday party at my house? Because she was turning 19. And she was like, she was going to come dressed up at her party. So, of course, hey, you can have your party at my house. I didn't know what to expect. Whatever. You want to have a party, baby, you can have your party at the house. So the day of her party, she came, she decorated. Malaysia believed in celebrating her birthday. If you know her, she did it big, and I taught them that because you never know when it's gonna be your last birthday. Not only that, your birthday, it should be special. And she made sure she made her birthdays special year after year. Like that was something she always did, and she celebrated big. And I try to teach and tell all my kids that, even though me, I don't even do nothing, but I did let them know that birthdays are important. So Malaysia really enjoyed and celebrated herself when her birthday came. So she came, she decorated, like I say, and when she came, Malaysia was dressed. She came dressed. Now, like I said, she was 18. I've always known Peirre. That's who I raised. That's who I had a son. So when she came in her transitioning process, she came. She had on a little black dress. She had on this curly wig. She had on some low heels. And she looked at a mess. I was just like, yeah, okay. But hey, that's how she came. She had a little makeup done, baby. She was strutting her stuff. It was her and her best friend, DeMarco. He goes by Apple now. He's trans as well. DeMarco always have dressed up. DeMarco, ever since he was little, he would play in the wigs and stuff. He was out. He was open, and he did him. So I know that DeMarco helped Malaysia a lot with her confidence. Because like I say, and like you've heard Lala say, Peirre was timid. He was shy. He's the total opposite of Lay. And DeMarco really helped. That's his best friend. He really helped Lay, like coming to the woman that she was, like giving her that confidence and supporting her and cheering her along the way, because DeMarco didn't care about it. DeMarco was in the streets. He just was him. And like had to work up to that and build that. So Her and the motherfucker came dressed in them. They was girls that night, honey. They was girls. Like I told y'all, she didn't have the name Malaysia at that time. That grew on her later. I can't remember what name she was going by because she's had many. But so she had her party. All her friends came and they had a good time. We all had a good time. I was very attentive and supporting and looking because it was just new to me. But hey, we was there in the mix. She had her party. They did their thing. Eventually I went to bed. I had to go lay down because it was just too much for me. Like it was a lot. So but they took the party downstairs to a neighbor house. So they went down there. And so like I said, I had lay down. I had went to sleep because I was just like overwhelmed with emotional trauma. That's what it was. It was emotional trauma because that was just pretty much how they laid it on me. Like, this is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. Get over it. And then here I am in my head, like, why me? Why my child? Like, no, I wanted a son. Some people feel like, oh, just get over it. Why was it so hard? Or why parents just can't be accepting of their trans children. People just always trying to throw a band-aid on stuff. It is just not that simple. And if it's that simple for you, that's fine. That's good for you. But everybody, it's not that simple and easy for everybody. It was real hard for me for the simple fact, like I said, I already had 2 daughters. I had Shay, then it was Peirre, then it was Lala. So it's like, where's my son? I want my son. Like I said, I feel like Muhlaysia robbed me of my son. Like I said, I wanted to experience my child playing sports, football, basketball, track, whatever sport he decided to do. I wanted to be there cheering my son on. I wanted to have their daughter-in-law. I wanted to have grandkids. I have grandkids by Shay and Lala, but I'm saying I wanted grandkids with my son, with his wife, fiance, girlfriend, baby mama, however it played out. I wanted to experience those things, and I feel like I was robbed of those things when Muhlaysia decided to live her life as she decided to be a trans woman. Is that it? And it's like people want to just normalize things that's not so normal. It's probably normal now, but it wasn't normal then. It wasn't normal to me, and that's why it was more of a struggle for me. Because, like I said, I wanted to experience what my friends was experiencing, what my mama experiences having sons, and my sisters. My sister and them got sons, and all my nephew. Cause my nephew, like we got some handsome men in our family. Like hey baby, oh they want my son, they want my nephew. It's just like you cheering your child. Like, oh my baby scored 10 points at the basketball game. Oh baby, the girls love my boy. I wanted that. And I wasn't able to have that. So it was kind of bittersweet because I gained a 3rd daughter in the process, and she brought things. She was a different type of daughter than my other 2 daughters. They was very different. So it's highs and it's lows. But most of all, like I said, it hurted me more than anything because I just feel like I was robbed of having my son and experiencing those things that a mother and a son experience. I wanted my son, he was 4 or 5 when I got married. He was my ring bearer, so he didn't walk me down the aisle, but he was a part of my wedding as my son, Peirre. But now that we older and he was older, I'm not married to the same person. If I would have wanted to get remarried, I wanted my son to give me away. It's just a lot of things that I wanted to experience with a son that you can't experience with a daughter. So it was more of, it was hurt. It was disappointment. It was, I felt a lot of emotional trauma, of this decision that Lay decided. I didn't have no say in how he felt or what she was experiencing. She didn't share that with me, and I understand why. But like I said, we just never could sit down and have this type of conversation. Like when I try to ask her why she want to be trans, she would get on the defense and just be ugly. Like, I'm mature, I'm a parent, so I'll be trying to understand and get to know. But she felt like I was antagonizing her, like I really didn't want to know, but I really did because I didn't understand it. And so when she give me attitude, I'm gonna give her attitude. So we really couldn't just sit and just talk about it in depth. Like I know she shared with other people and how she shared with I, which is fine because I'm glad she was able to share it with somebody she felt comfortable with, because I know she wasn't comfortable with me, and that's okay. Because like I said, I'm just glad she was able to discuss her feelings and she didn't hold it inside where she wasn't able to release it. And she also shared some things with my sister, like I said. So she wasn't alone. She didn't it wasn't like when she couldn't just go talk to nobody. I just know it probably was difficult for her to talk to me and vice versa. So, when people ask, like, why was it so hard? Those are my reasons. And not just that, it's just that I am a believer of you came in this world, God made you a boy, that's what you're supposed to be, that's who you are. But I'm not a trans person. So I don't know what battles they're experiencing on the inside. Because knowing now, but I didn't know then, it's a struggle, it's a battle that Muhlaysia was going through. Like that's how she felt on the inside. And when I talk to other trans individuals, that's what they say. They was just like, you just feel like you trapped in another person's body, like this ain't who you should be. I haven't experienced that. So I don't know how to relate on that level. But as I listen to other trans folk, that's how they describe it. And like I told you, me and Malaysia, we never got to have that conversation. But I'm pretty sure that's how she was feeling, because listening and talking to LaQuincia, Lala, she expressed that's kind of some of the feelings that Lay was feeling. That's something she always want to do. And when I look back at it, I know Lay, we used to have this game called IMVU, a lot of MVU, however you want to pronounce it. A lot of people probably haven't heard, but it's a video game. And we all played it as a family. Like that was one thing that we enjoyed and we did in our house. We had like 4 computers and we all would get on there, and it was like a game. It's kind of like The Sims, but to us it was better because you can interact with other people online. You get online, you dress your avatar up. And like when we would get ready to play, like Muhlaysia would take so long dressing up her avatar. Like me, Lala, DeMarco, we go in there, we dress up our avatar, we ready, let's go play with other people, let's go talk. But Muhlaysia would spend so much time dressing up her avatar. I'm talking about from the hair, the nails, the skin. Like she would literally probably spend 30 minutes to 45 minutes before she just got into the game dressing up her avatar. Making it pretty, and her avatar was pretty. It really was. And so I think when I look back at that, I could kind of see that was a sign. But I just really thought, my baby into video games. And so, like, she really didn't like the sports video game, like the fighting. Well, she liked the fighting games, but like the sports. Like, she didn't like to play the basketball games, the football games on the games and stuff. But she would like to play the fighting games and like this particular game. But like I said, our whole family played it. We enjoyed the game. But kind of looking back at it, like knowing now, I kind of figure like, okay, that was a sign right there, because she didn't pick a male avatar. She picked a female avatar. And like I said, she would put so much attention in that avatar. And so, like I say, when she said that, like I said, Malay was 18, she was on her own. She was working at the time, and she was just living her life. She was out there experiencing life with her community, just going through the process, going through the motions, as out there doing it. And it was just a lot of things that she did that I didn't appreciate with this lifestyle. But hey, she was an adult. I just feel like, hey, that's you. That's what you want to do. Have it. So when she would come over, we would talk. Like I said, she introduced me to all the people who even if it was just at that time or season. She introduced me to her sisters, her extended family, gay family, however you want to call it. Her dad, her mom, her sisters, her brothers, her gay kids. She introduced me to those people. So that's how I know who Muhlaysia hung with and what was going on. She didn't hide those people from me. She introduced them. They've been to my house, whatever. She did get introduced to some people that I just feel like wasn't meant her no good. They introduced her to things like the sex work. Like Muhlaysia had job. She had 2 jobs. Yes, her experiences on her job, it was hard for her being trans. People would make fun of her. They would always want to tell the dudes, oh, that's a man, right? When they would come in. So I know that could kind of be hard for her, and probably one of the reasons why she didn't want to continue to work in the public because of stuff like that. But that's life. It's just certain stuff that comes with things. I just hate that she wasn't strong enough to keep working and disregarding the ignorances of people. But she chose to stop working, and that's something in the community, in the trans community, they call it sex work. They for some, it is something that they have to do because they don't have family, they don't have nobody else to turn to. But that was something Muhlaysia didn't have to do. It's something she chose to do, and I feel like that was the people she hung around with. She's an adult. She chose that, so I'm not blaming everything on them. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying the people she surrounded herself with, they introduced her to that, and that's something that she didn't have to do. Like I say, some people, it is survival sex work, and they call it survival sex work because, like I say again, that's for the people who don't have family, don't have support. They might have a background where they can't get a job, or it's just harder for them, or they know the diploma. Like Muhlaysia had a high school diploma. Muhlaysia was smart. Muhlaysia didn't have a background. Muhlaysia had a job. Like I say, it was just the peer pressure of the people who she surrounded herself with. That's something they showed her is quick money. Who don't want no quick money? Some people sell drugs. Some people sell their bodies. It is what it is. So, that was something I knew that she was into, and that was some of the things that we stayed into it about too, because I just feel like, how dare you, a child of mine, like you're better than that? Why are you, people get offended when I say that, but I stand on that. She was too good for that. She didn't have to be out there in them streets like she was. That's what she chose to do. She didn't have to, because she had plenty places that she could have went. That was just something she chose to do. And Muhlaysia wanted to try to show me that she was independent, that she didn't need me, that she got it. And she took pride in that for whatever reasons, because it's reasons. She's not here to tell you the reasons. I can tell you what I think. I could tell you what I even know, but I just wish she was here where she could talk about that. But if you follow her story time, she talked about it all the time, about her being on the block. It's like some of her friends, like, oh, Muhlaysia love that block. She owned that block, stuff like that. And it's just really foolishness. I don't care. It was foolishness. But like I say, the peer pressure of others, and when you feeling like you arrived, or that's making you feel empowered. It was like sleeping with the guys as well. Being with people that you couldn't be with regular, like these download or trade, what they call them. Because a lot of trade comes down off in there. So it was just trying to experience love, because I know as trans, it's hard to get in a relationship because a lot of people, like a lot of these guys, are not comfortable in the skin that they are in, and they like see with them and be with them on the low. And so that acceptance from those guys, that really made Muhlaysia feel empowered, or feel that temporary, she thought was love, but it was lust. Because anything you got to hide and you're not proud of, then you shouldn't be doing it. And that's speaking from the men behalf, because they're undercover. They're lying about who they are attracted to. As for her, like I said, Malaysia was out in the open. Everybody knew who she was. She was a transgender woman. She didn't lie about that. It was on her page. So it wasn't no secret that she did sex work. Like I said, she talked about it all the time in her lives. So those are some of the cons or the ugliness of her transitioning that I didn't like. But other than that, Malaysia, like I said, we didn't see it for her at first. Malaysia wore a size 13 shoe. You big foot. Girls don't have feet that big. That's what I used to tell them and stuff. And but when I tell you, when she made up her mind and she took off. She didn't care what I thought, what my family thought, what nobody thought. That's what she had already wrapped up. She hid it for so long. I'm sure she was being stuck in that body or pretending to be something that she wasn't comfortable in or wanted to be for 18 years. I don't know when the feeling started with her because we never got to talk about it. But I just know that some of the stuff she shared with Lala. So all that time she was feeling uncomfortable with who she was. So when she became Malaysia, it's just like she was a ball of fire. She was just like a force to be reckoned with. Like Malaysia had a ego big as the sky. Like, baby, she felt like she had arrived. Like no one could tell that girl she wasn't no girl. Like she was popping, Malaysia, she loved it. Her appearance was everything. Like she used to pay to get her makeup done, but then she started doing it on her own and she got really good at it. She kept her hair in all these different hairstyles and stuff. Like her appearance to her was everything. Like some of the, like even like her tips for me, because she used to be like, "Oh, Diva girl, you need to get out them beauty supply eyelashes." Like I used to wear number 20s. I thought those was the best thing since sliced bread. And Blair's like, "Oh, girl, you need to get out them beauty supply eyelashes. You need to get you some of these." Like all the latest trends and stuff that come out, Malaysia was on it. And then she come over here and tell me and her sisters, "Oh, baby, y'all in last place. Y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that." And I don't never wear hair past 24 inches. I just feel like there's too much hair. And she used to be like, "Girl, you bald headed, you wear them baby ass bundles. You need to get you some hair, 30 inches and more." Oh, she used to kill me. She was something else, but she was out into her appearance and stuff like that. But Miss Houston still gonna wear her 24 inches. That's as far as I'm going to go. I ain't following her. And she would wear these long nails and they be decorated and stuff. And like I say, she became a beautiful trans woman. She was. Malaysia was very, very beautiful. She had a beautiful horse. Lala say like she really did. She cared for people and she just wanted people to have the same energy she had. But unfortunately, everybody's not accepted. And I used to try to get Malaysia to see that. The world don't have to accept you. Everybody's not going to accept you. And that's okay. You just roll with the ones who do and stay away from the ones that don't, because it's danger in their lifestyle. But Malaysia felt like now everybody gonna accept me, everybody gonna love me. She was demanding of her respect as a trans woman. And she kind of tried to bully us and the family and stuff like that. So like I say, at first with her transitioning, it was just a back and forth with the name, the changing of the name, calling her a she instead of a he. I probably say like a year, maybe a year and a half, all that back and forth. But after that year and a half, like by that second year, honey, I was team like, this who she is. I was over it. I'm not saying our problems went away on some of the stuff, how I felt. But I'm just saying, by that time, I was past the trans thing. Like, hey, you Malaysian now, you want to be like that, fine, that's who you are. And so I adjusted. I even had it so bad one time, like when I was talking to her, one of my male friends, and I was like, Malaysia. And so Malaysia had made me mad. And like I said, when Malaysia made me mad, I called her Peirre and a him and stuff. And so I was talking to one of my friends one day. So he was like, "Oh, so you do know that's a boy, right?" And it tickled me. I laughed so hard. That was so funny to me. Like, this is one of my good friends. And he know inside and out. Like once we talked and I explained to him, and I was like, what? Do I know that's a boy? I know what I had. I know that's a boy. I was just like, but Muhlaysia is a trans woman now, and she want to be called she, and she want to be called Muhlaysia. What they got to do with you? Why you care about what I call my child? But I know what she is. And he laughed. And he was like, no. So I was just saying. He said, because you always say she in Muhlaysia. He was like, I thought you was crazy. No, I'm not crazy. And I'm sure it's because it's how the outside world view us. Like, we condone it or we accept it or we make. First of all, how I refer to my child, that's my child. It's not yours. You could say he, you could say Peirre, because people do it. And they think they be hurting me and making me mad. You're not bothering me. Because I know what I had. I know I had a son, and I know his name was Peirre. So whether you call him Peirre being funny, or you call him that, check, whatever, it didn't matter. Now, you're not going to say no it. But if you call him a he and call him by his birth name, it wasn't a problem to me. I didn't get offensive. That was something that she had to deal with because, like I said, they feel like that's disrespect. But everybody's not going to be accepted. And I don't think people should. Like, I don't get mad at people when people say, I'm sorry about your son. They don't offend me. They just giving me their condolences. I know some people meet it from their heart. I know some people be being funny. And I know some people don't care. And I don't either. Like, you're not hurting my feelings. And I just wish other people could have that same attitude. I get it that you want respect or you feel like somebody's just not cooperating. You can't make the world agree with everything that you put out. That's just not how this world works. And I just wish people would stop focusing on that little bitty stuff. Because that's little bitty stuff. That's ignorance. They don't have to accept you. They don't have to call you Muhlaysia. They don't have to call you a she. They don't have to. They just don't. And that's okay. That is okay. Just like they can't stop you from they can't stop you from saying you're a trans woman. They can't stop you from saying your name is Muhlaysia. They can't stop you for wanting people to use your pronouns as she. They can't stop that. You could tell them. They don't have to respect it. They don't have to. You just don't deal with them people or you deal with them accordingly. And I just couldn't get Muhlaysia to see that. She wanted everybody to accept her. And that's just not the world we live in. Now you're being delusional. And you were fighting a whole bunch of battles that you didn't have to fight. But those was like some of our struggles early on. Like I say, the name changing, going from the he to the she. Those were some of my issues. But the biggest one was the sex work. Like, after I got over it, I was over it. Muhlayshia's a trans woman there. That's who she is. That's what she want to be. I told my family. Like, most of my family was accepting. And it was some that wasn't. It was some that still wanted to call Peirre, man, him. I know we was having we had a party. We have a block party every year. That's something big we do in our family, 4th of July. And I have a nephew named LaRon. He got killed by a dog, but he was hit by a bus, so he died. And he died on the 4th of July. So in his honor, we have a block party every year. And so one year, Muhlaysia came with all her friends. And my brother-in-law, he was a DJ. So, we all in the street, we dancing, we doing our thing. And once they came and they started dancing, my brother-in-law started cutting the music out. Like, don't nobody want to see that shit. He started being disrespectful. See, that's when you being disrespectful. Calling him by Peirre or calling him, that's not being disrespectful to me. But when him and his friends decide to come to a party that me and my family throwing, that it's a block party that we've been doing, I don't care if all the punks and gays or whatever you want to refer to them as come, you gonna respect them. Like, don't stop no music. You have no right to turn down the music or stop the music and tell them that they can't dance. And I had to check my brother-in-law. We got into it about that. Like, we're not going to do that. See, I can roll with you on that, but I can't roll with you and get mad because somebody decides they want to still call you by your birth name or call you a he. I'm not going to get into it with people over that. But somebody disrespecting you, cutting off the music, trying to act like you and your friends can't enjoy the party, I had a problem with that. And I know when we got home, Malaysia called me. She said, Mama, I really appreciate you standing up for me today. Like, that meant the world to like. And that's what I used to try to tell like, just because I don't agree with your lifestyle don't mean that I don't love you. You my flesh and blood. You my child. You came from me. You was 8 pounds, 60 pounds. You could have killed me, boy. I ain't have a vaginal birth. My kids was C-sections. So I was high risk anyway. Like, I would lay my life down for my kids. So it was never about Muhlaysia being trans. It was just about the things I feel that I was robbed of. That's it. People try to ask me what was the difference. It was a big difference. Like I say, like Peirre was timid, quiet. Peirre always stood up for himself though. Even though in his quietness and his timidness, he still stood up. He was always 10 toes down. But it just was like a 360 because this Muhlaysia character, she was on 10, you know? And I'm glad, and I don't take away how I raised Lay. I don't feel bad at all because I know I made her stronger to deal with half the stuff she went through. That's why she was able to sustain and deal with as much as she did, because I know of the tough skin that's how I raised my kids. Because my kids say I'm hard all the time. You know, you can't live in this world being soft, because this world will eat you up, chew you out, and spit you out. And that's the only thing I tried to tell them. So I don't regret stuff as far as trying to make my kids tough and not internalizing and taking everything taking everything to heart what people say, because this world it'll eat you up and spit you out. I always used to tell my kids, this world don't love you. It only take you away from those who do. I always said that. And that's why I try to get like to see these people ain't your friends. These people say they're your friends. They're not your friends. But when I was coming up, mom tried to tell me about a lot of people. I caught it sooner rather than later, thank God. All I can just say is be open when your child's coming to you or coming out. I'm not going to tell you not to come out a bag. I ain't going to tell you not to cuss. I ain't going to tell you not to cry. I ain't going to tell you not to be mad. I'm not going to tell you none of that, because your emotions is your emotion. It's going to be some emotional trauma. It really is. I just hope my story can make it less emotional or lessen the blows, because the blows going to come. They're going to come. It's going to be issues. It's going to be opposition. It's going to be a hell of a journey. Not for everybody. Some people, like I say, it's a smooth, they with it, don't have no problem with it. It's cool. And that's good. That's great. But everybody's story not the same. It's not the same. But I want those parents who have not just trans individuals, but gay people, period. Because it's a lot of people that's gay that they family members just put them out, just throw them out, just act like they nothing. Like they don't even exist. That's the parents who I'm talking to right now. Like, it's not too late. If your child is still breathing and alive, go get your babies. I don't care if they 5 or 75, them still our babies. Go get your babies. Go try to talk to your babies. Ask your babies for forgiveness. And be open and try to talk to them and try to hear them out and try to understand where they coming from. I challenge y'all. Like, all the religious parents, I get it. Ain't nobody telling you to not to disregard what your beliefs are or your religion. Nobody's telling you that. But you tell me one place in that Bible where God don't preach love. God loved the world so much that he gave up his beloved son. That's what God did for us. So that we can live, have eternal life. He gave up his son. So you tell me, world, the Bible tells you to throw your kids out because of their sexuality, or their gender. Show me that. Because God is a God of love and compassion. I challenge y'all to show me something in the Bible where it tells you to turn your back on your kids because of their sexuality. You are supposed to be there to teach and love them through whatever. That's what God do for us. Because we do stuff every day that he not appreciative of. And he don't turn his back on us and throw us out. So those are the parents that I want to touch. Like, go get your babies. Go find your babies. Like, y'all leaving them out here to the wolves. You leaving them out here to these gay families that saying they love them, take care of them, but they really mistreating them and teaching them how to steal, how to do stunts, turn tricks. That's what you're doing. You're throwing your kids out there to the wolves. Not saying that they won't go to those people anyway, because like I said, that one Malaysia story, she didn't get put out. But she felt like those people identified with her. They could relate to her. And so she wanted to fit in. She was smart. She was funny. Very attractive. She was all those things. But she still was human. And she let that flesh, that weak side of her, because of wanting to be accepted, made her make a lot of wrong choices. And sex works was one of them. Because that's why my baby not here today. Some people might say, oh, she could have got beat to death. Look what they did to her. They could have killed her because who she was then. And that's fine. They could have, but that ain't why and how she died. She died out there doing sex work. That's just one of those things that's part of her lifestyle. That's what she chose to do. And it ultimately took her away from us. And yeah, she could have been beaten to death. She could have been, all kinds of stuff could happen, but it didn't. That's her story. She was killed doing sex work. Mm-hmm. And people been getting killed. They've been killing prostitutes for years. They used to then care. They used to just, these tricks, get them, these Johns, get them, they kill them, they could do anything to them, and nobody cared because people feel like they was thrown away, that they didn't have family that loved them. And that's just not true. Some people choose to do things that they want to do because they want to be independent. They don't want to depend on family. They want to feel like they doing everything on their own. And if that's how they feel to make their money, because it's a quick buck, who don't want money is the root of all this. That's a quick buck. You know, people always judging and trying to say Lay was a prostitute and she was a tranny. But half of your baby daddies, your brothers, and your uncles was out there buying them trannies. Yeah. You can't be a prostitute if ain't nobody buying it. We just got to stop being so judgmental and just get down to the root cause of the problem, like what's really going on. You know, people get an attitude with me because with my foundation, I want to focus on the trans person that's surviving, thriving. I want thriving instead of surviving. That's the ones I want to deal with. Because everybody around here ain't doing stuff for the reasons they say. You know? Let's just start being real. But Malaysia transition, she did that lifestyle for 4 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 4 years. That lifestyle, 4 years, took my baby. But I don't want y'all to focus on how and the why. I just feel like that's her story. That's how it was supposed to end. And it's a lesson. Everything is a lesson or a blessing. And in this case, I feel like it's both. I wish Malaysia would have lived so she can, because I feel like if she had lived, that It made her do a whole 360. But I feel like it wasn't meant for her. Her story, her chapter had ended. That's the closure of her book. But look how much publicity and how much attention this story got. Muhlaysia wasn't the first trans person killed. She's not gonna be the last. But her story went viral. Because I feel like the passion she had for her community and how much she wanted people to believe in her and be the person who she was, I feel like God used her for a movement to bring awareness on what's really going on in our transgender, our Black trans women. Because they dying at a rapid rate for different reasons. And we're going to address that. But right now, I just wanted to try to give y'all like our story of Muhlayshia's transition. Like I say, she came out at 18. And it was just hard for me from going from a son for 18 years, raising a son, and then one day you wake up and tell me, because like I say, she had always been feeling that way. She just didn't share it with me for obvious reasons. But it was hard for me. 18 years versus 4 years. So I just supposed to forget about the son that I had. No, I will not. I will always talk about Peirre, just like I'll always talk about Muhlaysia. They were the same person, but they both had different purposes, and they served their purpose. Like when Lay passed, in my mind, because Peirre had been past me, like Muhlaysia been killed off Peirre. Because that's all she would say. That punk dead, Peirre gone, I don't know him. You know, she would say stuff like that. That would destroy me. Because what do you mean my son did? Like, no. Like, I wouldn't let go of Peirre because that was my baby. That's who I raised. That's who I loved. That's who I knew. So it just hurt me. Like, how can you hate yourself? That's how I felt. And that's how she described it to me. Like, ill. She would say stuff like that. And to me, you perfect. You had all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. You had your nose, your ears. You was a healthy baby boy. So you perfect to me. I loved Peirre, but Muhlaysia didn't. She wasn't comfortable with Peirre. I can never understand it. I heard what she's saying, but I didn't have those emotions. I didn't feel that. But it's just like, how can you hate yourself? And I loved Peirre dearly. Like, that was my baby. That was my son. That was my heart. So when you're telling me that this person don't exist and you hate this person, I'm torn. Because how? How do you hate yourself? Like, what's wrong? And I just couldn't understand it. Just like she just couldn't understand why I just couldn't let go of Peirre and accept, I'm your daughter. I'm giving you this bam, glamorous, gorgeous person. That's how she was, this first. Because she was bad. Fine. She was a bad mama. She was a bad girl. But to me, you was perfect being my son. So I just supposed to get rid of 18 years and just go with the flow with these 4 years of this Muhlaysia character. I don't think so. So that was very, very hurtful for me. But when Lay died, and when I went to that funeral home to identify my child's body, on that table was my son. Because all the hair is gone, all the makeup is gone. How you came in this world, basically. And as I stood there, it was a bittersweet moment for me. Because I haven't seen my son in 4 years. So as I'm standing here looking at my baby on this table, it was bittersweet. It was just like, there go my baby. There Peirre go. But at the same time, I have to remember, this is Muhlaysia. This is Muhlaysia. Now, Peirre died again, so I really lost my child twice. People probably don't understand that, but it's the truth because I lost my son 4 years before I lost Muhlaysia because Peirre was non-existent once Muhlaysia took over. Wasn't no more Peirre. Wasn't no more son. We stayed into it because she never wanted me to say Peirre. She never wanted me to say he. It was like that person was gone. So I had already in my mind and heart, my son don't exist anymore. So now, like I said, as I'm laying there, that's my baby, that's my son, because that's who was laying on that table. And it was a bittersweet moment. But I knew in the back of my head, because like I said, we had this talk about if something happened to her that she wanted to be buried as Muhlaysia. And, you know, we went back and forth. I told her, nah, you're going to be buried as a nigga. You're going to have a haircut. You're going to have on a suit. That's what I told her. But she tagged me in a post one time on Facebook saying that it was disrespectful for transgender parents to bury their transgender child as how they was born instead of who they were. And when I read that and when we talked about it, I knew then, hoping that I never would have to, but I end up, I knew then that I would bury her as Muhlaysia instead of Peirre. Like, that was something I thank God that we were able to talk about prior to her death. So it's just like I lost my child twice. So I lost Peirre and now I'm losing Muhlaysia. So as I stood there, you know, I was saying to myself, Mama gonna get you right. Because I went straight into mama mode. Once again, like, oh my God, Muhlaysia got her on, her makeup. Oh no, she can't be laying up here like this. Like I know she's rolling over. Like, girl, if you don't get me together. And I knew I just took off with a mother's instinct that I got to get this baby glammed up, baby. Let's get Muhlaysia, let's get her popping, let's get her going. And Muhlaysia was beautiful in death as she was alive. Like that baby, she went out this baby. She went out in style. She just looked like she was a sleeping beauty. Once I got her all together, got her hair and her makeup, like she was gorgeous. That gave me peace because I knew then that she was okay because she was sitting up there like she was asleep, like she didn't have a scratch on her, like she hadn't been touched. But in reality, my baby was gone. But that gave me peace, and that just put me in mama mode to give her final wishes, to send her out of here as Muhlaysia. So it wasn't all bad, but it wasn't peaches and cream either. And I just wish some of her decisions that she made, that she would have been more in love with herself than she was in love with other people or worrying about what other people thought of her. I just wish she was more stronger in that area than some of the decisions she made. But I'm a true believer that whatever meant to be is to be. So I ain't tripping off of that. But I just want you parents to just be more open and understanding when your kids come out to you. Just don't be so dismissive. Pray about it, cry about it, shout about it. Do whatever you need to do, but don't just leave the feelings out on the table. Like, come back and communicate and talk to your children. Tell them how you feeling. Try to understand and hear where they coming from and how they feeling. It's your household. You set the tone. If you want to shut it down and you don't want to deal with it, period, hey, I ain't judging you on that either. You do what you feel. But I really wish and hope that you don't put your kids out or just throw them away like they nothing. That's your flesh and blood. Remember that. That's blood of your blood, flesh of your flesh. Just remember that. If you never can come to terms with their lifestyle, make sure you put your kids up in place or somewhere, you know, because I know trends that their mama probably did, but they got an auntie, they got uncles, they got brothers or siblings that, you know, but try to just maneuver, just make sure they're in a safe space, even if you don't want them at your house. Make sure they have other options where they'll be safe and they can have a chance. They don't ask to be here. Some of them don't even ask for their lifestyle. It's just something inside of them. Like, I don't know all the bases in the background of it. I don't. But I done talked to enough and talked to some therapists that it's something there. I don't know what it is. But I don't regret having my child. I don't regret our experiences. The only thing I regret is that my baby decided to go to that block that night. That's the only thing I hate. But it's okay. Because this too shall pass. And I have peace in it. I mislay like it's hard. Because like I say, it's so hard. It's like a void. It's like, how can a person with so much life be gone? But that's what keeps me going. I just think about her smile, the things she would say. I have plenty of memories that keeps me going. I prefer that my baby be here with me in the flesh. But since she ain't, I hold on to the memories. And she left us plenty of memories, plenty of pictures. She left us good. Muhlaysia was on go. So I just challenge the parents to not be so dismissive, not understanding, and just be open. But respond how you need to respond. Just don't stay there. Once again, you can email me at info@MuhlaysiaBookerFoundation.org. You can go to Facebook, look us up, send us a message there. You go on the website, call us, leave us a message. We do respond to our messages. If you out there, you need help, you need somebody to talk to. If I don't know, I get you to somebody who do know. Once again, I always gonna end my segments with my favorite scripture, 1 Peter 4:8. That's my favorite scripture due to the transparency program. And I feel like that's the perfect scripture for this whole situation. And that's be completely humble and gentle, be patient, burn with one another in love. So I'm going to end it with that. And once again, continue to come check in with me so we can discuss and explore what it means to love and support not just our loved ones, but each other. Until next time, y'all have a good night.